One mother-daughter duo is taking over TikTok. Designer Carla Rockmore started her fashion TikTok during the pandemic and has since gained over 1.3 million followers. She recently opened up to fans about her daughter Ivy's transition, showing an enormous amount of love and support for her. Well, since then, we've seen Ivy make some fun appearances in her mom's videos. The duo is joining us today. This is Advocate Now. Carla and Ivy, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Now, I want to start with you, Ivy, because it's so amazing that you felt comfortable and confident in sharing your truth. What made you decide that it was time to come out to your family and begin presenting as female?
Sure. So I always knew I was different than other people who were assigned male at birth. I was always attracted to boys. I was different than the other boys, didn't like sports, that sort of thing. And so at 15, I came out as non-binary, which basically just meant that I didn't feel like I was male or female. And for a while, I thought I found a good in-between, like with an androgynous style, that sort of thing. And then soon I realized it was almost a mask because inside I really did feel like I was a girl. And so about 10 months ago, I told my mom, and here we are.
And Carla, you of course opened up on social media about Ivy coming out. Let's take a look at that.
My 17-year-old son, Nate, came out about 2 years ago and was living as non-binary. Recently, she has shared with us that she wants to present as fully female. What was really hard for me was changing the name from Nate to Ivy on my phone. I cried. I don't know. As a parent, your emotions go back and forth. You know that saying, a mom is only as happy as her most unhappy child? You kind of want to make life easier for your kid. Ivy's going to have to do the heavy lifting. I can't do it for her, but I will be right behind her, supporting her.
Carla, how did you feel when you two first had that conversation, and what has the adjustment been like?
You know, it's funny. It was right here in the closet. And at first I was scared. I was scared because she wasn't sitting well in her skin. And if she's not living her authentic self, then she's never going to be happy. But at the same time, I was afraid for how difficult your life is going to be. I mean, really, at the end of the day, every parent cares most about their children's happiness. And I was concerned that in life she was making a choice. I didn't understand yet that it wasn't a choice. It's a constant, it's a transition for the family, and it's ongoing.
But how amazing of you as a mother to be so aware and to be so open and supportive. You're clearly so supportive of your daughter. What advice do you have to other parents of trans children?
First thing I would say is listen. Okay, and understand that this isn't a choice, and to be there as a support, as a pillar, and to accept. And if you happen to have reservations or questions that you feel you're not ready to hear, keep them to yourself. I mean, at the end of the day, as a parent, whether you have a trans child or a child just going through something, there are times you don't share. You need to process it yourself, figure out the best way to talk to your kid about it, and then go forth. It doesn't have to be immediate.
And Ivy, I'm sure it's all a learning process, but how do you think your mom has handled it all?
I think she's honestly really handled it with grace. At first, I feel like we had to navigate it almost together because I told her in this closet last January that I wished I was a girl. And that doesn't mean that I wish to present as a girl or go through with hormones or, any of the sort of changes that happen or will happen or have happened along my transition. And so in that way, it's almost kind of been, once again, a family transition. And so I really appreciate the support she's given.
Since this is Advocate Now, how are you both continuing to advocate for trans and women's rights, and how can others do the same?
Well, we just did Giving Tuesday yesterday with PFLAG.
Yes.
And we are, when this whole thing started, with my social media, I'm talking about, rather than, Ivy's transition.
Right.
I thought, let's put it out there for some good for other parents. I'm not the one transitioning, so I can't talk for her, for Ivy. But what I can do is possibly help show other parents going through the same thing that it's the same kid with the same anxieties and the same laughter and the same, she eats the same as she used to.
Yeah.
Just take your time. The more we normalize this together,
right,
the better, I think, we might be able to help somebody out there in the ether.
And just to add, I feel like it's really interesting, like specifically about trans and women's rights movements, because we're both women, but we've come through very different paths to get where we are. And so in some ways it kind of like it fits together, right? Like the trans movement and the women's rights movement are interconnected in that way, because we're going through, similar struggles and experiencing life in a similar way.
But how would you say your mother-daughter relationship has changed since Ivy transitioned?
I ask her for help with clothes a lot more. She gets me, we have a tight spin that I just took tights out of because it got cold. I steal her boots now sometimes because we're somewhat same shoe size. But otherwise, our relationship really hasn't changed. If anything, it's probably become more honest and open because I feel like that's almost a necessity to have, a healthy relationship with someone who's going through this process.
Yeah, that's incredible. Carla, you mentioned earlier about social media and your content. You became social media famous, kickstarting your fashion content on TikTok during the pandemic. You've even been called the real life Carrie Bradshaw. Why has fashion been such a fun outlet for you?
It's not so much an outlet. It was my career. I was a clothing designer for 25 odd years. And so it's just been a natural process for me when COVID hit to create content.
I want to see exactly how similar your styles are since you two are both fashionistas. So I want to play a little game called This or That. Okay. I'm going to share two different trends and you each share which one you like better. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
Okay. All right. So first up, low-rise jeans or high-rise jeans?
High-rise.
Low-rise.
Okay. I'm on the high-rise side too. Nude lip or red lip?
I have a nude lip.
And I'm a red lip.
Ooh, I love this. Leather or lace?
Leather.
Leather.
Yeah.
Leather. All the way. All the way. Heels or sneakers?
Sneakers. I love sneakers.
Can I say platforms?
Yeah. Platform sneakers.
You can say whatever you want. Over the knee boots. I always used to be a heels girl, but let me tell you, I've really embraced the sneakers. I'm happy about the sneaker trend. It's more comfortable.
The sneakers will take 10 years off you, love.
All right. Showing skin or covered up?
I show skin.
She should show skin. She's 18. I like to make choices as to where I'm going to show the skin I focus one area.
It's a balance. It's a balance. Yeah. All right. Boho babe, punk princess.
Punk princess.
Boho babe.
And finally, crafty and eclectic like Carrie or bold and sexy like Samantha?
Carrie.
Absolutely crafty. And
you are both so much fun. Thank you, Carla and Ivy, for being here. For more feel-good mother-daughter inspo, make sure to follow Carla and Ivy on Instagram. Thank you to you both.
Thank you again.
I'm Sonia Baghdadi. Thanks for watching and advocating. For more stories and content like this, visit advocatechannel.com.